Oh, finally. My goodness. Feels like I was there. Feels like I was there for like 10 years.
Bam, we're live. Uh, so when is the last time you've been home?
So I left on New Year's Day and then I got back yesterday.
Oh my goodness. So you've been gone and you were down in Florida training?
Yeah, I was at Fort Myers, like the Fort Myers Cape Coral area.
And is that where a lot of guys go?
Yeah, a lot of players, they go to like, I don't know, like the popular kind of hot spots. Like nobody wants to do. There's a lot of running involved, so nobody wants to be kind of like up in the Northeast necessarily, where I'm from, where it's cold and you got to worry about snow and all that stuff. So I think Texas, Cali, and Florida are a couple hot spots where dudes like to train.
I guess kind of like spring training for baseball, the big spot's Arizona. It just
Yeah,
doesn't rain there. Good weather.
yeah, and there was even in where I was at, the Red Sox spring training is in Fort Myers.
Okay, so those dudes are around.
Yeah. And it also too, like, because of that, a lot of the facilities will move. Like where I trained, this was their first year in Florida. They were based in Nashville, Tennessee, but because of where the big names and the players like to train, they moved their shop down to Florida so that they can, get more dudes to commit to their program.
Is this the third time you've been on the show?
Yep.
Tyson Bagent, third time he's been on the show. We'll skip over a lot of stuff today, but just to catch those of you up who have not seen the other shows that he's on, from a young age, Tyson's dad got him into sports, got him into football, coached him, stayed close to him, stayed too close to him, but for some reason for some reason it worked out against all odds. Tyson had a crazy high school football career, played the quarterback position, went off to college, ended up playing 5 years of college football there because of the weird issues around the country being closed down in order to try to get rid of a virus. It didn't work.
COVID exploded.
Yeah, that didn't do so good, especially if you were old. Still got you. Or didn't. Anyway, and then all of a sudden, college. So then after high school, goes to college, plays 5 years there, and then college is over, and then there's this thing called the National Football League, where dudes who are like want to keep playing can try to keep playing. Crazy. No, you're an adult now. You can't play football anymore. You have to go get a job like building homes or working in the coal mine. But no, there's this group of guys that don't ever want to grow up, and they try to get to the National Football League. So on Sunday we can chill.
Yep.
And watch them play.
Play a kids game forever.
Yeah, play a kids game forever. And okay, so that's pretty accurate, right?
Yeah, spot on.
And then so you have to bear with me. No detail is going to be too small. Because none of us really knows what happens. So
yeah, I got you.
So you finish your college career. You have a last game, and up till that point, some pretty crazy shit had happened. These guys who work at there's 32 teams in the NFL, and they've all come out to take a peek at you because they hear and they see the numbers. Hey, there's this kid who we might want to play in the NFL. Is it normal for all 32 teams to come out and look at a player?
I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say any of this is normal.
Right.
I would say
right.
It's normal for guys that they believe can play at the next level. It's normal, but it's not. It's really not normal. Like that had never happened, or maybe it might have happened at Shepherd one other time. I know in the early, in the 2014, 15, 16 time, they had a lot of defensive studs on the team. So that could have brought a good handful of teams to watch practice. But no, I wouldn't say that's normal, but it was definitely, extremely cool.
So flattering and a good sign.
Yes.
RB Sevan, when he makes it, are you actually going to watch an NFL game? So I already started looking. I'm going to not only watch it, I'm going to get the whole entire NFL package so I can watch every single. Someone's like, "Oh, you don't have to watch the whole game. You can just they." I'm like, "No, I'm watching the whole game." They're like, "They do a Cliff Notes version." I'm like, "Nah, I'm gonna start watching. I'm gonna be a football fan."
I watch your podcasts. You watch my games.
Yeah, it's simple, very simple. I was already thinking, how am I gonna do what's that gonna do to my Sundays? Okay, and then from there, how do you know that you're going to? Do you have to like? Is it like college? You have to fill out a bunch of paperwork and apply and shit, or are they more like coming after you?
So they come after you, and then there's also, I mean, there's so many forms and medical clearances and a bunch of stuff that you and questionnaires that you do fill out so that you can go and do these things. But not everybody fills them out. You only fill them out if they ask you to. So like with the Reese Bowl, there was about 5 million things I had to fill out in order to go to the Reese Bowl. At the Combine, same thing. Prior to, you get the invite, then immediately they start sending you things to fill out to make the process a little bit smoother, because it's like it was like we were there for 5 days, and then we didn't do anything on the field until the last day.
This is the Combine that happened this past weekend.
Yes. Yeah. So
Come on in, buddy. Come on in. Don't be scared. Come on in.
Nah, he's all good. So it was 5 days, and then the 4 days before that, all it is NFL Players Association meetings. They're check a bunch of medical clearances, and they really check head to toe everything. Like, they want you to play in the NFL, but they don't want you if you're banged up and hurt and they can't use you to 100% how they want to use you. So they're checking injuries that happen, in high school. And luckily for me, I didn't have a whole lot. I had a shoulder injury that was minor in 2019 that I told my range of motion was fine. Everything was good, but they're so on top of it, and just, they have so much money to spend that they just get MRIs and x-rays on everything. So there was a day for that. You had a bunch of media.
No shit. So they're looking inside of you.
Yeah. Yeah. So they had a shoulder AC joint and then turf toe, which is just like, I was planting on my right foot a lot just because of what I have to do as a quarterback, just planting on my right foot. So my big right toe there was just some swelling in my big right toe, and it was just kind of stiff, and it's all good now. But even then, they checked it, did a range of motion check. They said everything was good, but then they were like, we're still going to get an MRI. So they
wow.
Yeah. So there was like a couple dudes that would get stuck in the hospital. Like, you got dudes that are just banging on each other nonstop throughout the game that have, actually sustained some real injuries. And those guys will end up being in the hospital for, up to 8-9 hours, just getting MRIs. X-rays.
Who are those guys? Those are like guys on the line?
Yeah, guys on the line. I mean, even, there's receivers, they're jumping up high, catching the ball, getting hit, defensive backs, basically everybody except the quarterbacks and the special teams players. And even then, there's also some quarterbacks that, sustain injuries as well. So I'm sure a couple of them got stuck in the hospital, getting MRIs and x-rays as well. But it's a pretty crazy process. And also on that day, you go into about 6 rooms. You got yourself, the physician that they teamed you up with, and the physician will go through your paper. He'll check everything, make sure your range of motion is in check. Then you go into 6 different rooms. Each room has got 20 to 30 team doctors that are all sitting on a table with their computer in a U shape.
Yeah.
And when you go to the doctor, say you're feeling sick, you go and you get checked out, you sit on that table and he talks to you.
Yeah.
Like in the room, there's one of those tables. You sit on that table right in the middle of everybody.
Like the one with the paper. They pull the paper out.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You sit on that table like that. Your physician reads through the sheet, and all the 30 people do. They look at you and they just take notes. And then you leave there, and then you do that 6 different times. So it was like,
SEMA with the hard question. Do they ask you about STDs?
No, they don't. But they check your blood. They check your urine. Like the first day you get there. So they check. They check everything.
That's a great question. I wish I would have thought of that.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that on one hand, you can't make it out of college football without having some wear and tear on you. I mean, you're at that point, those guys have been playing football everyone there's been playing football for 15 to 20 years, right?
Yeah,
at the combine?
unless you're like a
A
unicorn.
kicker?
Yeah, unless you're like it's like some unicorn story. Even kickers, like my little cousin's a kicker, and he was kicking so much that he did something really traumatic to his hip flexor.
Uh-huh.
Had to get surgery, and he can't move that section of his body for like 5 months. So there's even kickers. Like nobody's really exempt from the whole medical clearance thing. They take that extremely seriously. But it was just kind of cool how it all worked. Like it was annoying at the time because I'm like, man, let me get on the field and just do my thing. However, I was like, wow, they really like, I guess they pay you all that money. They want to make sure that you're perfectly healthy.
Yeah, it sounds thorough. And I guess they only get so many picks, right? And so it's like they don't want to pick a lemon.
Yeah, you don't want to waste it. You don't want to waste a pick. Yeah.
So then you finish college, and then you get that invitation to the Senior Bowl. And does any part of you not want to go? Why is the Senior Bowl important? Does any part of you not want to go because there's a chance you could get hurt there?
There is a chance that you could get hurt at the Senior Bowl. That's not necessarily what I was thinking. I'm from a small school. I desperately needed the Senior Bowl because a lot of the questions everybody had for me was the fact that they didn't believe I could play at that higher level. And all the Senior Bowl is dudes at the highest level. So I could see if I was already made my mark at the highest level, like high D1, like at school like Alabama, I could be like, maybe that's a risk going to the Senior Bowl. Maybe I've already proved everything. You can watch my film. However, I would play on a Division II school. I needed to showcase that I could play with the dudes that are going to go to the NFL. So
and you completed 17 of 22 there.
Yes. Yeah. I had it was a lot of fun, but it's funny. That was like hell week. Like if I had to go to the Senior Bowl again tomorrow, I would be like shit, I got to go back to and do all this shit again. Like it was like, cause it was almost everything that we did at the combine, but also you had to learn a whole offense. And practice and get ready for a game on top of having to meet with NFL personnel and go to parades and do your day was accounted for every minute from 6 a.m. to 11 o'clock at night the whole time. So after that, going to the combine was a breeze. It was just I was able to take it all in and not really worry or stress about anything.
Solid work at the Senior Bowl. Trish, Tyson, congrats on your Senior Bowl performance. Hey, if you are, I know it's all new to you. Every day is like unfolding is new, but it almost seems like the Senior Bowl, if I was an NFL scout, would be more relevant than the combine. I'm kind of tripping on the combine because what could they actually learn from you in a day that they haven't seen already from 4 years of high school and 5 years of college? Like I'm trying to why would there as I was going through your combine footage on YouTube,
mm-hmm.
They suggest videos like it's like a man who has worst combine ever, and it's like I forget who it is, but they show some guy who has like a shitty combine. But I'm like, at that point, like everyone knows what they're getting, don't they?
100%. It was the list, because you've got this whole offseason thing, pre-draft thing, I had the Senior Bowl, the combine, and I have my pro day, which is just at my school, right? And ranking those, it was Senior Bowl number 1, combine number 2, then pro day number 3. Like that was the importance, level of importance with all 3. Senior Bowl, you're playing actual football against actual people, doing exactly what you would do at the next level. So that's huge. Then the combine, obviously you got all the dudes. So for quarterback, we'll just be specific on the quarterback. You got all the quarterbacks right in the same area, throwing the same routes, and you kind of get a chance to see, what, oh, this dude's killing this, but this dude can't really do this, or he doesn't do it like this dude does it. You get
how many quarterbacks? 15?
There was 15, and you get an idea of athletically the numbers you put up. Like, hey, can this dude? Is he athletic enough to obviously maneuver around NFL caliber players, like as a quarterback? For receivers, all the athletic stuff is very important because you want to be able to you pick dudes that you think can run past the defenders. So the times matter more so for them than it would like a special teams player or a quarterback. But getting a general idea of the athletic ability, how they kind of carry themselves throughout the week when you got them doing a bunch of stuff they don't want to do. And just kind of, are they a slappy? Are they not? Do they care?
What's a slappy?
Just like a slap dick, like a.
Oh, okay.
Do they care? Do they not care? Are they cool?
Did you get that vibe from anyone there that like they were just like going through the motions?
Maybe a handful, but I mean, most everybody there is like, is putting on a super front, like just trying to be super perfect because they
brought their A game.
Yeah, exactly. So even if they were, an asshole or not the best person, you would never be able to notice in that short amount of time. They
pushed it down. Cobra Rhodes, Tyson, QB number 1, NFL Combine. Why were you wearing the number 1 jersey?
Alphabetical order by last name.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah, I know, it was really cool because the whole no bull thing was they did all their experimentations with the QB1 number and position. So it all worked out to where that was the most like popular one anyway. So it was pretty sweet.
So you get there and is there just a ton of no bull gear in your room?
Oh my gosh. So we get there, checked in, and then they built like this. They spent a ridiculous amount of money building this like no bull locker room and this no bull training facility. Because the people I trained with in Fort Myers, my trainers, they had a group of dudes that were going to the combine and I was in it. So they came to the combine, and throughout the day, whenever we had an open slot, we would go and we would train with them to continue to get ready. Because you don't want to just sit around for 4 days and then go out there and try to put up your best numbers. So they trained with us throughout the day. They had,
wow, that's crazy. You're telling me that the team that you're training with in Fort Myers shows up and they set up a little camp there somewhere.
Yeah.
And in your downtime, they got you still moving.
Yeah. And they brought their PT people. So we're able to continue to get
crazy.
PT. The whole thing is unreal. Like, it's so crazy, especially where I'm coming from, like with just no resources. So I'm like, this is all like new to me, but it was really cool. So we would train with them or whatever. But yeah, the whole gear thing, we showed up, we went into that no bull locker room and they had a locker for you. And there's probably $5,000 worth of gear and it's all yours. It's got your name on it. You try it on, do it, whatever, you take it to your room. They got 2 bags, a lifting belt. Like, it was like a bunch of, I got so much gear that when I left for Florida, I didn't have any of that stuff that's over there on the ground.
Okay, wow. All right.
All those boxes and all those bags. And now I'm kind of in panic mode trying to figure out what I need to get rid of so that I have room for all that stuff. So,
and eBay.
Yeah. eBay. It was all great though. Yeah, they did it. We got a bunch of gear. It was a super, super time.
So you're there for 6 days and 5 days are basically looking under the hood. Do they put you through a psychological eval? Does like a shrink talk to you?
We did have a test, it was like an IQ test, I guess. It's just kind of one of those ones with a bunch of trick questions on it. They put us through that, but it was pretty brief.
But is there anything like you're driving down the street and someone flips you off? A,
nah, it was
pull the car over and slap them. B, wave and say sorry. There's nothing like that.
The ones that the harder ones it would be a question composed of or a riddle of 4 or 5 sentences, and it would be, the flu is similar to common cold, but it is more rapid and it's more deadly. And then it would say, the common cold is similar to a car accident, but it happens slower and it's less deadly. And it would have a couple more of those, and then it would be true false. The flu is more deadly than a plane crash, right? And then like you would have to like go and decipher, and it wasn't like common knowledge. Like obviously you would pick the plane crash, but you had to go and like read the riddle and be like, okay, hold up. So the flu is more deadly than this, but this is more deadly than that, and then hold up. All right, so there it is, and then you would go. But it was time too, so you had to like there was a time limit, so you had to try to decipher all of it.
Do you know that shit's coming when you get there? Like,
yeah, I had an idea. I didn't have all the like. I didn't know what the questions were going to be, but knew there was going to be some type of like IQ test, mental test.
Do they give you an itinerary before you get there? Hey, like these are the 6 days or 5 days.
They did, but it was very brief. Like you don't get the real itinerary. Like you get a broad itinerary. Like you get what day you're getting there, and it'll be like 2 bullet points. Like this is basically what you're doing on this day, this day, this day. But then we got our real itinerary when we got there, and they did it through an app. And we had a group leader he was great, and his name was Donovan. He was with the Chargers, and we just communicated through that. So our schedule would be on there. He would communicate what time we needed to be there prior, and then we would leave as a group and all that stuff.
I'm gonna pull up a video. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see it, but maybe you could tell us what's going on here. Let me see if I can pull this up. So you're on a field here. What can you? It says quarterback, wide receivers, tight ends. What is this? Like so that's you in the middle, right?
Yeah. So ball? That day, those are the position groups that we're working out on that day.
And who are all those dudes? Who are all those dudes? The other dudes in like the black shorts and the red tank tops? Those are other quarterbacks?
Yeah. So all the red shirts are quarterbacks that are behind me. And then there's a big group of red shirts behind that receiver, but you can't really see them. And those are all the receivers. Everybody else who's wearing other color is either is either a trainer that's giving people water. It's either a scout of an NFL team or a camera person.
That dude with the stick, that's like some sort of camera or audio gear?
Yeah, there's cameras. Yeah, there's cameras everywhere.
And how about the girl like up at the top? What's she doing? Just sit with her hands on her.
And then they also had a bunch of people that were like that would just gather the footballs. Like there's footballs flying everywhere. You know, they would just be the people picking up everything and making sure that everything is able to move smoothly.
And what's that dude telling you that's like he's standing like right in your grill when you're snapping?
So he's got a sheet and he's going over the order. So he's got the order of the quarterbacks throwing. So I'm throwing, and then he would be quick to be like, all right, yeah, so and so you're on deck. Like
and how many throws do you get right there?
Right here you got 3, and then you switched 3 at a time.
So not very many.
Yeah, each route you got to throw 3 times. Yeah.
And do you know this guy? This guy you're about to throw to? Have you ever thrown to him before in your life?
I have not. No, he's from the University of Michigan.
So you guys both step up there together, and then you look over and you're like, "Hey, dude, don't fucking drop this."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, dude, don't fuck the throw up."
Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's a level of trust just because. I mean, I know how good I had to be to get to the NFL Combine, so I can only imagine how good that dude had to be to get the NFL Combine. So right now, I'm just more focused, like, you know, on upholding my end of the bargain than I am worried about if I'm going to throw a good ball and he's going to drop it.
Tyson, there were 106 dudes there.
You talking about athletes?
Yeah, at the Combine. Yeah,
there's 300.
300. Okay.
300 each year. Yep.
And then there's like 280 or 300 dudes who get drafted in totality every year into the NFL.
Yes.
And is there anyone who if you get invited there, what am I trying to ask here? Are there people who will be drafted who don't get invited there? Or is it pretty much, I know there's outliers, but is there anyone
there will be some outliers. Most of those dudes that went to the Combine will get drafted. There's a handful that won't. And
is there anyone who's so good they don't have to go to the Combine?
Not go to the Combine. They don't have to participate in the Combine. There was a couple dudes that just went just to do interviews and show their face that they were already stamped enough to not have to take any risk, not drop their draft stock by not participating. They were already kind of
no shit.
Yeah. So the Alabama quarterback. This dude is 5'10", short dude, right? Like from quarterback standpoint, this dude's so good. He just came and just got to hang out.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's
so
a
I
good
was
gig.
like, man, I was like, wow, that dude must just be like, they must think this dude is so good because not only, he's short, like, so I imagine he just must be super, super nice.
Hey, so and being short's bad because you have to throw over the top of tall dudes.
Yeah, just like there's just a perception that the O line in the NFL is so huge that you would just wanted that. I think it's not as nearly as important as people make it out to be, but you would just their idea is like you want a dude that can see over the line, that can see the field, and you could just imagine that it gets cloudier and cloudier the lower you get.
Right. That's a good description. More cloudy. Tyler Spot, I want to see the throw. Okay, chill. Press play, Sevy. All right, everyone be cool. Everyone chill. Trish, pull up his 40-yard dash in due time. Jesus, you guys are just, man. Okay, here we go. And I like the way they describe this. Someone said that they describe this as you putting it in the bucket.
Yeah, so they did a good job coaching us too. Whenever the route would change, they would be, hey, look, this is what we want on this one specifically. I want you to take your 5-step drop, and I want you to put it high in the air, let it fall in.
Okay, and that's what they told you for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Career. Of course, his career ended.
Okay, so like that 5 steps drops just what you did right there. You just backed up.
Just 5 steps. Yep.
And is your mind clear? Or are you shitting your pants right here?
Nah, I was good by this point. And this one, there's a lot less thinking. You just take your 5-step drop and you throw it high as far as you can.
How about this dude in the upper right-hand corner? He's holding a satellite dish at you, trying to get like strong enough to hear your breathing.
Yeah.
You see that? The audio guy?
Yeah.
And then you got these 2 cats on the ground here.
Yeah.
And this is all being televised?
Yes, it was live. I mean, it's like everybody watches. I mean, I grew up watching the Combine. That's why the whole time I was there, I would just pause and be like, wow, I cannot believe I'm in the Combine right now. This is crazy.
And that's not real grass. That's just plastic that looks like grass?
Yeah, it's just turf.
Here in Indianapolis as a backup to Andrew Luck, and he was terrific at that too. So
crazy.
That's Ronnie Bell.
Hey, is there anything wrong with that pass? Like, did he is it like, I mean, that looks just like as perfect as it could be.
His career ended here in
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
So with this,
what's he do right there? Sorry, hold on. Before you answer, what's he do? He does a little juke move.
Yeah, at the cone, they've got cones set up, and they do a good job of coaching and telling you exactly what they want out of
the backup to Andrew Luck, and he was terrific at that too. So
yeah, God, that looks like that couldn't have gone any better, right?
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. And this was the first year they let fans in. And on this one, everybody kind of lost it. They were all like, because that was the first one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was
career ended
#1
here in Indianapolis as a backup to Andrew Luck, and he was terrific.
So it was just like everybody got pretty excited after that one.
And then okay, I see the crowd over here.
Yeah, they're all in like the end zone, the end zone that we can't see yet.
Yeah, look how high the ball is. How far is that pass?
Get that too.
50 yards, but I'm throwing it at
that's Ronnie Bell.
More than probably close to 60.
Of course,
so
here in Indianapolis.
You throw from the 10.
Luck, and he was terrific at that too.
It catches at the opposite 40, but it's at an angle. So if you made it
straight
line, like it's 50 yards literally, but in a straight, like how far it actually went is probably closer to maybe around 60.
Look at these dudes on the 20 just sitting in lawn chairs.
Yeah. There's people everywhere. So and those dudes standing up after that receiver catches the ball.
Yeah.
He does what he does after, and then he just tosses it to them, and he gets back in line, and they handle, making sure the ball gets back.
So it's kind of cool that you went first because you did. Fuck you, dude. I am not. So are you kidding me? Sevan is struggling without Caleb. I'm murdering it. Your mom's struggling without me right now, but that's it. So you go first and you don't have to think. Like you don't have to. Those guys in the guy who's last is just, that's horrible.
Yeah, the only way going last would be good is if everybody else before you screwed it up.
Oh, right.
And you could just go be the savior.
Hey,
But
in Olympic weightlifting, there's this like if someone walks on the platform in front of you, like you're supposed to get all angry, like it's a distraction. I
Yeah.
mean, what you can't have any of that prima donna shit at the combine. I mean, literally there's people everywhere on the field.
Way too professional. They are on top of everything. Everything is like every inch of
Great.
turf is like accounted for something.
It's nuts. You're glad. I'm assuming you absolutely love the experience.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it was one of those things where like the first 4 days, I was like, man, oh, it's kind of like because I'm just itching because I know how important like that combine is just for the whole grand scheme of things. Like it could be life altering. So like the first 4 days prior to, just kind of like, oh man, whatever, this is great, but I would love if I could just go get on that field right now and we could just do this thing.
You can't eat any bad. You like you're screwed. Like if you eat something at the hotel or downstairs that jacks your stomach up, you're screwed. It's just a one-shot deal. Everything has to be perfect.
Yeah, I think that was like, that was something that was cool too. I mean, they fed us good, but yeah, also thinking about that, like just trying to go in there at the same weight that I was whenever I was training, because I was liking all the numbers I was putting up, at right around 214. So I was making sure I didn't drop off of that and come in super light or overeat and go in heavy and feel sluggish. So
what's the most you've ever weighed in your life, Tyson?
Man, I was a little chubby boy in high school, my junior year of high school, before I really got into the whole thing or could wrap my mind around the whole thing of being healthy and what that actually meant. I got up to 222.
No kidding.
Yeah. And I was.
Were you shorter then too?
No, I was the same height, but I was 16. And now I'm 22 and I weigh 215.
And you've probably that means you've put on 10 pounds of muscle and lost 30 pounds of fat, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
It
was crazy because they at training they did body scans, and I was always curious about like what my body was made up of. So I went in when I first started training. I was 12% body fat, and I was able to knock it down all the way to 9.5. So that's
what you're at now. You're at 9.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy lean.
Yeah, it was cool, like because they did body scans, and at the end I did one just so I could keep it. So that was cool. It had like everything.
Where, at college or at the combine?
At the place I was training. So my last year, I took one just so I could have it.
Okay. This one trips me out too. So wow. So those are the receivers you talked about. They're all packed up there.
Yes.
And is this a different dude?
Yes, I threw to somebody different every time.
Okay. And do dudes ever drop the balls?
Yeah. There's still mistakes being made.
Is that freaky bad or no? It's just like, hey.
I mean, it's not good. It's obviously not good for the receiver, especially if it's a good pass.
Right.
So like a bad ball for a quarterback is the same thing as like a drop for the receiver.
I watched some football for the first time in I don't know 10 or 15 years. I watched whatever that game was that was before the Super Bowl. I think it was did Kansas City and Cincinnati play each other?
Yes.
And there were two things that blew me away. I don't know if it's true, but I felt like the quarterbacks had gotten better since I had played, meaning I couldn't believe how they were hitting the guys on the numbers. But there were also so many drop passes. I don't remember seeing so many drop passes in the NFL either.
Yeah, those two dudes that you watched are like super, super great. Like they're at the top.
Who? It was the Mahomes guy and then
Mahomes and Burrow.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. They were putting the ball in weird places. I was like, wow, how are they doing that?
Two MVP caliber dudes.
Okay. So this guy's going out.
Also, is that urgency too, as you talked about with him being 25.
And this is the part I don't understand. So is that bad? He's out of bounds.
So in the NFL, you need to catch it and get 2 feet in bounds, right? So when you're throwing the ball, you got to imagine that dude's running to the sideline, so the defender would be inside of it.
Also, is that urgency
you want to put it as far away from the defender as you can. So he catches it, he gets 2 feet down. Now we've gained 20 yards. It's a good throw. It's a good catch. and it's a first down. So it's all
That
right.
with him being 25.
So would it have been
Heck of a
better
catch.
if he would, just to critique him, would it have been better if he would have made
Also,
a
is
left
that
turn
urgency
before
too, as you
before
talked
that
about
white
with him?
strip, like right there, stayed in bounds?
It would have been better. I think my pass kind of didn't allow for that to happen because I made it.
Oh, come on. That's a perfect pass.
No, it is. Yeah.
Also,
it
is
but
that
I think he's
urgency too,
going,
as you talked
I'm moving him a little too fast to where he would have to be superhuman to be able to stick his right foot in the ground without everything breaking in his body in order to tightrope up the sideline.
Okay. You're a good dude, an honest man. Hey, and another good thing I'm guessing is that he didn't fall. Because look at that angle if that was just flag football in the backyard, you just roll. You catch that and roll, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That with him being 25.
Heck of a catch.
Hey, and people don't even he doesn't even get any love. Look at the people
Also,
on
is
the
that
sideline,
urgency
like
too, as you talked about with
he
him being
catches it,
25.
and like they don't even watch him. Like
Nah.
that black dude right there, he's like, I don't care. I seen 1,000 dudes catch balls. Like,
Yeah.
whatever.
They're just
Heck
strictly
of a
for business.
catch.
Yeah. And did you
Yo.
like all the wide receivers and all that?
Does the finger?
They were all everybody was cool, everybody was nice, everybody was just focused. So you got to you didn't really see the real them. But
You didn't make any friends. You don't make any friends there. You didn't get any phone numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I connected with a handful of dudes. There were some dudes that I was tighter with than others. But overall, it's more just everybody strictly business.
Is there any inkling in your mind which teams would be looking at you?
No, so that's the crazy thing. I won't know anything till like right when the draft is about to happen. Like I know that obviously, people are interested, teams are interested. I wouldn't have been at the combine otherwise. However, where that is, I have no clue. I met with a bunch of teams, but all those teams, I went into every single one as if it was going to be the team to select me. So I freaking just tried to knock it out of the park and just freaking kill it, which is what I did. So all of them went equally as great. So I couldn't tell you right now if I have a better connection with one over the other.
And I read a bunch of articles about your performance at the combine, and one of the articles alluded to a team that might be looking at you. Is that just those reporters have no idea? I'm guessing what they're talking about. They're just
it's just Twitter fingers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anyone or like that dude who didn't have to perform? Does any player there get to choose what team they want to go to, or no? It's all
Nah, the only time you would ever know a dude that's going somewhere is if he's the number one pick in the draft and it's set in stone stamped, and obviously everybody knows who has the number one pick in the draft. So
who has the number one pick in the draft this year?
The Chicago Bears.
Okay, so like that guy that didn't have to compete at the combine, there's a chance he might go there.
Well, it also like whatever the team is. So that team is pretty bad, but they have a good quarterback. So it's also like team needs too. Like you're not gonna waste the number one pick of the draft on a position you already have taken care of. So it can change. Or
you could pick him to trade him to someone else, right? Could I be the Raiders and I need a quarterback? So I call the dude on the Bears. I'm like, hey, pick that dude, and then we'll give you our dude who you want for that position afterwards. And you give us that
but
dude.
you can like if you want. Let's say you wanted a quarterback, right? And you were the 12th pick and you didn't think he was going to get all the way to the 12th pick.
Yeah.
You could hit up the team with the 5th pick, be like, hey, we want to trade up, take that spot. We'll give you this.
Oh, okay.
And then they can say yes or no.
Like, we'll give you our next 2 picks if you give us this one.
You can have 2 second-round picks. You can have, whatever. We just want to trade up so we can try to snag that dude before it's too late.
Here's a question that I would have never thought to ask. I don't even know what this question means. Sevan, ask him if the style of offense he played in college prepared him for the NFL.
Yeah. I think that in the NFL, you go.
What's that question even mean? There's different styles of offense.
In like the NFL, it's a lot. It's all just matchups. Like you just draft players because you think they'll match up against players that you're currently playing and having problems with, right? So, like in the NFL, it's a lot of under center, like taking snaps under center. In college, it's a lot more shotgun. So I was in the shotgun way more than I will be next year. So I think the Senior Bowl was big because we were learning. Like my quarterback was my coach was from the Falcons, so we learned the Atlanta Falcons offense. So I got a way better idea of what that's like. And I felt as if I had already, all the things I was doing, I had done because I was able to play for so long. I had done at one time or another in college, whether that was all the time or whether we were experimenting with something in college. I was able to already have been exposed to it beforehand. So I would say, yeah.
Why did your college team take the snap in the shotgun?
Because then, and we like at Shepherd at a small school, like the biggest difference between D2 and D1, in my opinion, literally it is the offense and defensive line. They're just bigger at the next level. Outside the receiver, it's the same speed, but the guys on the outside might just be like an inch too short to play at that high level. So you don't really notice that difference, but you do notice the stature of the dudes that are playing offense and defensive line. So I think that being able to run the ball, just because how good some of the defensive backs are that are covering the receivers, how good defenses are in general, you really got to be able to run the ball in the NFL. And it's a lot more effective and safer when you do it from under center.
Crazy. Okay. And when you played in the Senior Bowl, did you notice that? Were you like, oh, yep, these dudes are taller?
Yes. Yeah. That was the only difference. Everything else was the same. It was just the guys were a little bit bigger, but it was cool though, because I felt safer. So it was good.
Yeah, that is good. Hey, you must be, so you're just chomping at the bit. You're just dying to get out there. So that's the only element. If there's, I guess, the size of the dudes on the line. Does the game move faster theoretically at Division I than Division II?
I think that is a conception that's something that a lot of people do say. But I would say that from my experience playing at Division II for 5 years and then playing in the Reese Bowl, I did not notice the speed of the game being faster.
Yeah, so
they do, and they also do say that, hey, when you get to the NFL, people are gonna say the game's that much faster. It's not. Everybody's just smarter, so everybody is a lot more anticipation going on. It's a lot more just smooth and straight to the point instead of just fast and all over the place.
Hey, that was the thing. I can't remember what the book is, but I read this book and it was talking about the reason why they were explaining why Wayne Gretzky was so good. Mm-hmm. And it was basically pattern recognition, that he would see stuff 40 seconds happen, 40 seconds, see something happen and know that 40 seconds later, 90% of the time when that's happening down there, the puck ends up over here in front of the goal. I'm going to go over there and wait. And that basically he had that built in. That's the kind of anticipation you're talking about too.
Yes,
like
exactly.
You see hips and eyes, and you start in pattern recognition, and you start being able to know what guys are going to do.
Yeah, and that needs to be just amplified for me. Like I need to be able to continue to get better at that, just because for the first time ever, I'm going to be playing against people that in a literal sense are just playing football so that they can pay their bills and do everything. So they're going to be on top and know where they need to be at all times. So it's me being able to decipher all of it, recognize patterns, and then not have to play faster. I don't need to play faster. I need to play more efficient and with more anticipation.
Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Exactly.
Do you dream football, Tyson?
Dream? I the only time
like anything, like passing football, or show up without your clothes on, or like forget.
The only times I've ever dreamed about football, it's been like before a game or after a game, and the game not going how I wanted it to go at all. Like you can tell it's like a fake dream story, like after the fact, but like it's just like everything going incredibly wrong, and I wake up in kind of like a sweat, and I'm like, oh wait, that hasn't happened yet. Yeah, the game's in 3 days. We're good. But that's the only time. Those are the couple times I've had like football dreams. It's been like nightmares.
Yeah, you never have dreams that like you forgot something or you went to the wrong stadium.
Yeah, I had a dream that is one. So I had a dream one time I forgot my cleats, and then for whatever reason they didn't have extra, which in real life.
Oh, we talked about that, and that caused you to always now triple check your cleats.
Yeah, they would. We talked about my jersey. I went to a basketball game and brought the wrong jersey.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't play the whole game. It was terrible. But with this dream, I forgot my cleats at my house. So I had to go back and get them. So the other quarterback ended up starting the game, which was already terrible, right? I'm already like, this is fucking horrible, right? Come back, get in the game, and completely shit the bed. And then I woke up and I was like, it was just one of those things where I was like, oh my gosh, I just had the worst game day ever. And I was like, hold on. No, it didn't happen yet. The game's not till Saturday. It's Wednesday.
You've signed with an agent already?
Yeah, so that's what you do immediately after your senior season's over with.
And do all those dudes at the Combine have agents?
Yes.
And are the agents there?
A lot of the times they are, yes.
Was your agent there?
Yes.
And does he have other players besides you there?
So, all right. So I have 2 agents. So my one agent is a family friend that I know for a long time that just he was an NBA agent for basketball, but got his football certification just for me. So, and he's somebody I trust and that I have full faith in, he's just has the best in mind for me.
Okay.
So that was a no-brainer, but he has no experience as a football agent. He's smart as can be, passed all the tests, but he has no real life experience. So I took that in, and then I went and I met with a bunch of agents. They all are equally impressive, and there's no way to tell them apart. They all are amazing. So I picked the coolest one that I hit it off with the most, and I got them teamed up. And then we're just a big team getting everything done.
What about the agent you got who's the NFL agent? Was he freaking out that you were proposing an outside like set of eyeballs, or it's kind of like having your own personal auditor?
There was nothing personal going on. Everybody was everybody was perfect, which is exactly how I needed it to be. So they're just working together. They all got everybody's got their chunk. Everybody's happy and just working towards getting picked up in the pro day and all that stuff.
And so the draft now comes. Now you just sit, right? Is there anything else you can do between now and the draft in terms of
So my pro day is on the 28th of this month. And what the pro day is, I've already done all my testing, right? Like got the time for the 40, jumped, did all that stuff. So now there's a couple other my players on the team that didn't get invited to the combine. So they're going to do all that stuff I just did. But then at the end, we're going to have a script of about 50 to 60 throws where the people are going to see me not just throw three times each time a route comes like I did at the combine. They're going to see me out there for 50, 60 straight reps and seeing how I can throw the ball like all over the field, get a better idea of how I throw the ball. And how the guys that are also in the combine see how they run routes and catch and everything. So it works for everybody. But that'll be the last time I can kind of wow them until the draft.
So if a team shows up there,
all 32 are going to show up.
No shit.
All 32 are coming to Shepherdstown, West
Virginia.
Really? Yeah. So it's not just me. I have a stud offensive lineman that's also working out.
Yeah.
And we have a running back and a tight end. So we're all and I'm throwing. They're in the script. The running back and the tight end are in the script. I'm throwing to them.
When's the last time all 30? Was there a pro day last year at Shepherdstown?
Yes.
Is there one every year?
Shepherd is one of the only D2 schools with their own pro day. Yeah, but all 32 teams have never been there.
It's crazy to me that so no one's been drafted to the NFL from your college since 1960.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know.
1960, dude. I think I could Google. I bet you the NFL wasn't even around in 1960.
Yeah, or if it was like 6 teams.
I think it was probably called something else.
Yeah, I know it was like the NFL and the AFL. Like they were like split up, and then they would like.
Let me see. Birth of NFL. In 1920, 10 football teams gathered in Canton, Ohio to create an American Professional Football Association, not known as the National Football League. 4 more teams joined the league later that year, rounding out the original. Come on, man. Was the name of what was the name of the? Oh, maybe 1922. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was 1922. The league took its current name. Okay.
1960 though. 1960 that's so long ago.
Dude, that's before I was born.
Yeah, that's like almost 20 years before my parents were born.
And so, God, I wonder, what's the name of the school? Shepherdstown,
Shepherd
Shepherd College.
University.
Oh, Shepherd University. Okay. Let me see their wiki. Let me see their wiki page.
What's the difference between college and university?
I don't know. Maybe one of them you can get a PhD and one of them you can only get a master's. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I don't know. I just made that shit up. I want to see the origins of what year your college. Oh, okay. Oh, so what Shepherd's College was the former name 1871. Okay, so it's been around for 90 years. All right, fine. And where's my clip? I had a clip pulled up. So is it it's legit it's legit the pro day with 32 teams there. It's legit.
Yeah, it's gonna be super legit. Yep.
Will you go over and shake all those dudes' hands?
Yes. I'm definitely even if it's not like a rule, I'm planning on greeting everybody that shows up.
And will you try to remember their names even? Like look at them and be like, okay, that's Tom. He's from the Seattle Seahawks. That's Carl. He's from the Washington Redskins.
Maybe not, but I have a good idea. I've met a lot of the scouts through the Senior Bowl and the Combine, and anybody I've met with, I've jotted their name down and where they're from. So I'll have a general idea, probably a handful of dudes that are there, but I'll just more so just tell them thanks for coming and thanks for being there.
And will you do anything like grease the wheel at all? Like have like nail clippers, just like Shepherdstown's nail clippers or something. I like to keep a nice pair of nails and hand each guy like a pair of nail clippers. Yeah, here, welcome. Here's a like a souvenir. It says Shepherd's College on it, and they can cut their nails. Hey, that's an important piece of equipment for fighters. Nail clippers. Yeah, you keep nail clippers with you?
I do, but I don't use them a whole lot. I bite my fingernails, which is I'm trying to stop, but
hey, the thumb's a son of a bitch to bite. Yeah,
no. I go for all 10 though. Every day since I was like 6.
The thumb I kind it's the reason why I don't bite my nails anymore, because sometimes you can get a weird, like you get that, you start getting a tear and it starts like going across the middle of the nail and you're like, uh-oh. You're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, and you don't ever stop until you're like, oh man, I just messed up.
Yeah, I need scissors now.
Now it's too late.
Hey, I have nail clippers on. I have a Swiss Army knife with nail clippers on it. It's little. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? That's gonna be my gift to you. Yeah, like since I'm friends with your dad, I'm supposed to be like buying you gifts and shit. Like you're like the
I just want one of those no plan B shirts.
Shirts, okay. That should be that. Okay, I'll get you that too. But I'm getting you some nail clip. Trust me, you're gonna like it. Goes on your. Do you have keys? Do you have a keychain?
Yeah. I'll put it on my keychain.
It's tiny. It's a tiny, but the nail clipper on it's so nice.
Sweet.
Yeah. And you can be like, yeah, someone got me to stop biting my nails. So those guys show up, and you'll meet them, and it must be serious. And then, do they get to talk to you at all? Like, can they whisper in your ear? Tyson, you would look really good. Does Florida have a football team? Miami, yeah. You would look really good in a Dolphins hat. Blue's your color, buddy.
Yeah, they can pretty much say whatever they want. And we're also going to be like, with the quarterback especially, it's big that they see you be able to verbalize things. So we're going to go in. There's a classroom where we can go in and talk through anything, any situational football, and I'd be able to have to draw it up, explain it. Talk about the offense that I've been involved in the last 4 or 5 years, and just kind of show them where my IQ's at. So, because you don't ever just pick a quarterback just based off how he runs and throws. You got to know that he understands every intricate detail of what's going on. So that'll be the other part that I would also do that day.
Because you're the leader of the team, and you need to be. Those are the things you're going to have to talk.
Yeah, you got to be. You're the smart dude on the team. You're like the point guard. You're the coach on the field. All that stuff. So, being able to know that you can trust them with that burden is huge.
Hey, in football, there's something called the audible, right? That's like where the coach tells you to do something, but then you're up there and you look around and you're like, I'm doing something different.
Yes.
In that Senior Bowl, did you ever do that?
So they had it. There was plays that also had plays to change it to if you got a certain look. So if they just called a regular
Those fucking
play,
control freaks.
yeah, if you just call it, if you just called a certain play, and we were being there for a week, like, I wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel or trying to do anything outside of, execute exactly what they told me to. So they had some run plays that if you got this look, you would check it to this run, or they had run plays that if you got this look, you would check it to the pass play.
And this look meaning is what the defense is doing. You look what the defense is doing, and
yes.
Okay. And when you played at Shepherd, do you have an earpiece in so the coach tells you what play to call?
Nah, it was hand signals. But I mean, yeah, at Shepherd, like I would get a play and that would almost just be like that would just be like a suggestion. My junior and senior year, like once I had been there for so long and seen everything, it was like, yeah, they gave me a play, but I was like always manipulating something within the play. And
did you like that?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, sometimes you can get into like a rabbit hole of thinking too much and kind of overdoing it a little bit, because I mean, at the end of the day, football is pretty. It's once you learn it, it is quite simple, with just the fact that all you're doing is run, tackling, and blocking. And if you're a guy that needs to read things, all you need to do is look at the right stuff, have your eyes in the right spot, and everything else will kind of take care of itself. So sometimes you can get caught up into trying to maybe doing a little too much. I think I definitely did that maybe, once or twice. To where
do they tell you, hey, settle down, kid? You're doing too much.
No, they didn't, just because, I think that everybody kind of had a good idea that I cared just as much as them, if not a lot more. So they knew I wasn't by any means trying to be a detriment or hurt anything. So I would more so I would correct myself, be like, all right, dude, like, come on. Like, you still, like, not trying to do too much. I'm just trying to be, and not even trying to get to a perfect play either. Just trying to get out of a bad play. That's more so too. I'm never trying to look like, oh, this is the perfect play for this. I'm just more so like, all right, well, what we have called, we know this can't work. So we need to just change it to something that could work.
The first couple times you came on, there wouldn't ever be more than 100 viewers. Now this thing is like, I've just looked up and it's over 250.
Nice.
People are starting to like you. Come on, Sevan. Let us start asking the question. Okay, fine. I'll get a question out of here. Dug me off. That can't be a real name. Be gentle, because Tyson's here. Someone might be watching. What was the most interesting question a team asked you, Tyson? Anything weird? Anything question that you were like, oh, that's weird. I wonder why they're asking that.
Weird question. It was very, very black and white. It would always start off with, tell me about your family. Tell me where you grew up. Tell me what that was like. And then I would tell them. And then after that, really the most interesting thing, a lot of people were interested in the fact that my dad was an arm wrestler. So whenever they talk about that, I'd be like, yep, he's an arm wrestler. Just try to get it out the way. Like, ask me something about football. Like, ask me, like, I'm not here. We only got 15 minutes to do this.
Right.
I want to put it all on you right now, what I know.
I wonder if anyone's ever they're like, tell me about your family. And it's like, my daddy's in jail. He's 6 months away from being electrocuted, and my mom couldn't make it to the combine because she's turning tricks in Miami. How about you ask me another question, you fucking asshole from Seattle? You know what I mean? The player gets all triggered and starts twitching and shit.
Yeah, they had to make some changes, because I guess in the past, like, people would ask like some horrible questions to dudes and like be like judging them based off of like what their other family members have done. Like,
right.
Like, yo, so your brother OD'd on painkillers. So what, like, and then it's like, well, hold up, why in the world would you be talking to me about that right now? Just ask me about a run play or something. Don't do that. My goodness.
Well, and dudes got to be careful too that they don't. I mean, I guess there's right answers, right? I mean, I'm if I was a team owner, I'd want a dude like you who I know has a loving mom and dad. I know that's kind of biased, and there's an argument for having kids who've had it like really. I mean, not that you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth by any means, but it's tricky, right? Because you want a kid who cares, but you don't want a kid who's like, oh, this kid's 3 years away from getting a little bit of money and start doing drugs.
Yeah. And I think that's all too. That's why you got to be really like alert, energetic when you're interviewing and meeting them. Because I mean, I could see a lot of times where a dude, could go up there slouched over and just kind of shoot the shit with a scout as if he's talking to his buddy, and not take it as like, hold up, this is a job interview. Let me put on my best freaking personality, energy, make sure they get this best version of me so that they feel comfortable choosing me.
Right.
So that's how I view it. I could easily see where a dude has made or broke himself based off of how he did in the interview.
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah.
Hey, there was a question in here I wanted to here. I don't know. Sorry if this is a fucked up question. I don't even understand this question. Sevan, ask him if he took the Wonderlic test. Do they still do that? Do you don't even know what that is?
Yeah, I did I got a 27 or a 28.
What is that?
Pretty solid. It's like one of those trick questions, like a bunch of riddles, and you just go through and answer as much as you can, and it just tests your IQ.
Salo Ree, Tyson, how do you deal with the pressure of having a shine at one day to show off your skills?
Oh man, dude. So a lot.
What is that? What is that question? I don't even understand that question either.
Right. How do you deal with the pressure of having to shine at one day?
Oh, to shine at one day. Oh, meaning just one day.
Yeah. So you get your whole life. You've been working this thing, and you got one day, a couple hours really to show these dudes what you can do. Uh-huh. So you could be the man, but then end up letting your mind mess you all up because of the implications, and you just don't look. You're not giving off what the real product. So I think a lot of that is just the mental aspect of everything, understanding how important that the situation is, and that can either go one or two ways. You could be like, oh my gosh, if I don't do good right here, this is going to change the whole trajectory of my life if I sell this right now and I don't do good. And then there's like, you can let that worry you, or you could be like, all right, I have no choice but to settle down right now, because I know that if I want my life to look how I want it to look, I just need to go and do what I already know I can do. So there's a lot of mental mind stuff going on right there. So my dad got me linked up with Mike Solaris.
Oh yeah. I heard about this, Mike Solaris. Yeah.
So I was with him. I had obviously testing and getting the athletic portion, down pat was huge. So I was telling him the numbers I was getting and what I hoped to get at the combine. And then he would freaking just do his thing, hypnotize me basically. And then he'd be just it's all just manifestation, really, just understanding. Like, if you can be out there on the field and not be tripping and not be worried, you're obviously just going to do your thing. But that's just not the case with a lot of people. You're going to be like, yo, this is a make or break moment. I need to do well. And then any little thing can like throw you off, or you can already be so ready that, there's no way it could throw you off. So we would do it, and he would get it. And then he'd get me in this like restful state. And then he'd tell me to open my eyes, and he'd be like, you'll see you can't open your eyes now. And I was in a room by myself. I'm sitting there like that. He's like, open your eyes. I'm like.
So this guy hypnotizes you? So let me go back a second.
Might be a strong word. I'm very much present in the moment, but for whatever reason, I couldn't open my eyes. So right then and there, I was either like, all right, I could either freak out right now, or I could just buy in. So I just bought in, and then he would just go through all my times, what I was going to get, how it was going to feel.
Just the two you were in a room? Was he physically there?
He was on the phone, and I was just listening through my headset, relaxed, eyes closed, in a dark room by myself. And then,
your dad hooked you up with this guy
yeah, because my dad did it, and he won his first world championship when he wasn't ready to win his first world championship. So that
because Mike Solaris hypnotized him or walked him through some brain exercises.
The dude that taught Mike Solaris, and then Mike Solaris was like, "Yo," wanted to start doing that, so now he does it.
Were you scared that this dude could like scramble your brain, like put something?
No. I knew he was like. We had already talked a bunch of times, but I knew he was like, had my best. He had my best like he was thinking about me and wanted me to do well. So it was cool though, because a lot of the things I did at the combine I hadn't done yet, and it was the freaking things that he was saying. Like it was the measurements that he was saying. Like I had jumped a 34.5-inch vertical, but with Mike, he was talking like, all right, we're gonna get 36 or higher, right? That's what we're gonna talk about. Got 36 for the first time. Broad jump.
Oh, wow.
Broad jump. I had never broke 10 before. I break 10 feet. And that is the number we talked about.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was crazy.
Wow.
Crazy stuff.
Have you talked to him since the combine, to Mike?
I have not. No, I talked to him the last time we did it was the night before. And as soon as you do it, you go to sleep. So just get you fresh in your mind. You wake up with it, whatever. And then, so that was about 2-3 days ago. So yeah, I definitely got to hit him up. But yeah, that was the whole thing of like being able to attack the mental, be able to take it to the other spectrum of like, yeah, this is a life altering moment. So I'm just going to relax and do what I've already done a million times.
Sevan, you should have this guy on. I know this guy. I've stayed at this guy's house a shitload of times. I haven't seen him in 20 years.
He looks pretty similar. He still's got the same look. He hadn't changed a whole bunch.
Yeah, he was bald, so that's easy.
Yeah.
There was another. This is an important question. When you were hypnotized, did he ever ask you to take your pants down?
No.
Oh, well, that's good. Okay, well, thanks, Trish, for the thoughtful question. I want to show you this clip, and this is the 40-yard dash. We've only looked at 2 passes so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, how many times in your life have you ran the 40-yard dash? Like officially? I don't mean like.
Oh, officially? I don't know. Probably maybe 15 times.
Yeah, it's crazy. This would be so nerve-wracking.
Oh, I know. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world, getting ready to do that, because it is super just scientific. Like you're not even just running. Like it's a whole. Like I trained this at my facility for 10 straight weeks. Like just working on running 40 yards and how to break it down and how to do it most effectively. And all
that's where the combine seems kind of weird to me, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like it's not game speed. Like dudes aren't gonna run on the field during a game like they are gonna run that 40-yard dash.
Right, and yeah. I guess it doesn't hurt to put 10 weeks in it. It made you a better athlete, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't just that. Like it was 10 weeks just working on my athletic ability and 10 weeks working on quarterback stuff. So it was just like 10 weeks on trying to become a better, asset to a team.
Are you worried about pulling a hamstring while you're training this prior to the combine?
Knock on wood, I've never had any issues with my hamstring, and I felt, I just on top of, taking care of myself, just because I knew I only have 10 weeks to do this. The worst thing that can happen is me hit some speed bump because I'm not taking care of some section of my body. So I felt pretty good. My legs feel good. Everything feels good.
I went to Florida one time to the IMG Academy with a bunch of CrossFitters, and they were running the 40-yard dash, and they put Dave Castro up there. And first time he ran the 40-yard dash, he looked like someone shot him. You know what I mean? Like 20 yards in, he stood up and grabbed the back of his leg.
That is horrible. I've seen that happen so many times. I don't know. Thankfully, I've never had any hammy issues. But
you see anyone get injured there at the combine?
I did not see anybody get injured at the combine. No.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. And how close is your dad to you right here?
He's in the stands. He's in the stands probably about 50 yards away.
And he's not in the stands with like the regular mortals? Like they give the dad.
He ended up finding a way to get a media credential.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do the other parents get that?
Nah, I don't know how he got that.
Wow. Travis.
Yeah, what a stud.
Okay, and what are these 2 black lines on the ground? That when your ankle is, do you have an ankle chip
so
on?
the first line is where your hands can take up that whole first line. The back line, both your feet have to be behind that second line.
And did every dude start like that?
Yeah, everybody's got their own unique stance, but just like those are the only 2 rules you have to follow. Your stance could be whatever you want as long as your hand takes up the first line and your 2 feet are behind that second line.
And what are these two tripods like 10 or 15 feet down the way here?
Those are all laser timers. So you pass through them, they stop.
Oh, so your start time starts as you pass through that first laser?
Nah, so it starts. There's a guy sitting on a chair, and he's got a hand starter. So when you move, he starts it, and then when you get to those lasers, there is no hand time stop. The laser determines what's your time, like the end. So that first laser will be what my time was at 5 yards. The second laser will be what my time was at 10 yards. Then there's one at the 20-yard line, and then there's one at the 40-yard line.
That's crazy cool. Hey, I wonder why do they start it with the hand? Why don't they have it like the chip, like going over one of those black lines?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. I guess it just hasn't been like effective, or there hasn't been one made that's accurate enough, I guess. Like this is the most accurate way to do it, I guess.
And you've already done, this is your second shot at it. You already ran a 4.81. Okay.
Yes.
He was Lockhaven, in.
He definitely was.
Daddy looking on. 4.79. All right.
I love it.
Yeah, smiles from Pops.
That's awesome.
Now we'll see him spin it.
Shout out Shep. Shep, you what's up?
How tall are you, Tyson?
6'3 1/8.
God, you're tall. I can't believe, and you look lean, dude.
Yeah, I felt good. I feel good right now. They did a good
Fun
job
stuff.
at where I was
Great.
training, getting me ready.
Like feeding you and all that.
Yeah.
He was Lockhaven, in.
He definitely was.
So I don't know anything about sprinting, but like right here and then right there, you come up. Is that what's supposed to happen? Like
Yeah,
you're
I'm
just
supposed
leaning
to,
forward
yeah.
and then you come up.
Yeah. My transition period was like from 15 to 20 yards. So I had to dig up until then, and then from that point open it up and just run.
Look how ridiculous it is too. So you there's
For Shepherd.
you
He
run
was
by. There's a
Lockhaven,
dude
in.
with a yellow hat. I don't know what the fuck he's looking
Definitely
at. But
was.
he's definitely like making
Yeah.
sure you don't cheat or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it was all. It was super strict, but
Then you got 3 dudes at the. Oh no, you got 5 dudes at one bench. So now that's. Then you pass another bench with 4 other dudes at it. This is fucking crazy.
yeah, there's so many.
Then
people.
another table with 3 other dudes. What the fuck is that old dude doing? That guy that you just ran past, he sat down there 4 years ago and hasn't been able to get up.
Daddy looking on.
Oh, and another 3 dudes. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's people everywhere.
4.79. All right.
I love it.
Yeah.
God, setting up just that run probably cost him $500,000. My God.
Yeah.
So the pro day will happen, and I always feel like there's all sorts of rules of when people can and can't talk to athletes. Is all that over? You're done with college, and anyone anyone can be talking.
Anybody can talk to me.
And do you keep all that stuff sort of close to your vest? Like if
Yeah, well, a lot of it goes through my agent too. Like a lot of it goes through my agent. My agent's got the agents have all the contacts with everybody. They reach out to the agent first. They'll never reach out to you first. They'll reach out to the agent. Your agent will reach out to them. They'll get an idea of everything, and then it comes to me.
Any other of your dad's lecherous friends like myself coming out of the woodworks now and being like, oh, Travis, do you remember when we were friends? Can I get Tyson on my podcast? Is there anyone else who's like, oh, Travis, I have a beef jerky company. Could your son take a few bites of it?
No, nothing yet. Or if it has, he hasn't told me, but nothing crazy yet.
Nothing crazy yet. And there becomes a point where you don't become like someone could sponsor you now, but at some point when you get drafted, there become layers. Everything is going to become more. What's the word? What's when there's layers of management and there'll be more bureaucracy to get through, right?
Yes.
More red tape.
Mm-hmm.
So like I could pay you now to wear a shirt for me, and I could cut you a check for $5,000, and you could wear it.
But that might not work 10 years from now.
Or even if when you get drafted, it's done.
Yes, and
like the NFL has to approve everything, right?
Like right now, it's like signature deals. Like there's a lot of weirdos that are really into getting stuff signed by players and upcoming dudes and everything. So I've gotten a couple of deals with those, but you always like the price will just go up as the time goes. Like the price just goes up with how like popular you are or how good or successful you are.
Or let's say I'm just completely making this up, but like Budweiser is the sponsor of the NFL, let's say, and like right now, like Michelob could reach out to you and be like, hey, we want you to be in this commercial. But then once you get signed and Michelob approaches you and your agent, the NFL might be like, no, you can't do that because that'll compete with our Budweiser.
Yeah, exactly. So like with card deals now, there's a card company called Leaf.
A car company, like automobile?
Card.
Oh,
no,
okay.
Card, like a signing football.
Oh, okay, like a player's card.
It's a company called Leaf.
Yeah.
So there's a handful of card companies that can get a hold of you pre-draft. But once you're drafted, Panini cards are the only card deal you can work with.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And now if someone hits you up, you get the money. Or maybe you and your agent, but in the future, if you sign, then the NFL takes their piece too. Like more and more people start reaching into your pot of.
I think so. Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
And do you just try to avoid thinking about all that shit?
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, I don't spend money like that much at all. So like, if it's like a chunk of money, I don't really care what the split is, as long as I have an understanding of what I'm getting. I'm like, cool. Like I probably just put it away anyway. So it's all like, so it's all good. Like,
but even other things, like, do you care what team you get drafted to, or do you just have your head down and you're just like, hey, I'm just playing the best football I can?
Yeah. That's the only way I can be comfortable. If I start worrying about where I'm going or anything, I'm just trying to worry about me being prepared to go. Like I'm prepared to go anywhere. I don't care where I go. As long as if I wasn't prepared, then I'd be in a little freak out mode. But as long as I'm prepared, ready, I don't care where I go. I just want to go where I'm wanted.
I'll send you this $2, by the way. This is yours, Tyson. I have your address. So, the Sevan Podcast should sponsor Tyson. Yeah, totally. I'm going to send him that $2. Thank you, Steve. So I'm getting on the Tyson Bagent train. What do you mean me sponsor him?
My after the Combine, my Instagram has been going a little crazy. I gotta post a picture in that No Plan B shirt. Shout out the podcast.
How is that? Tell me about the social media. Is your agent like, hey, Tyson, we're gonna have to take that from you and we're gonna have to do it?
No. But I mean, it's the same thing. Like, I guess the more, influence you can have on that, I guess like there's companies that could be like, hey, we could do a deal. You could just post us on your big platform, which it's not big, but you could post this on your platform and then we can work out a deal. And that stuff's easy.
I would think that you, someone like you, also doesn't necessarily need as many followers to be influenced. So let's say if I'm a high school quarterback and I see you say, hey, every day I get into this ice tub, and you have 5,000 followers, I see every fucking high school quarterback being like, fucking, I'm asking my parents for this ice bath.
Yeah. Exactly.
Where someone with 1 million followers might say that, and it's just some girl in a bathing suit or some dude, some meathead it's all thirst picks, and they're gonna be like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. And that's another thing. I'm not really. I'll never go out of my way to do like some ad or something I don't feel like doing, unless I can benefit from it. Like in my life, it's something I believe in. Like if it's something I believe in, if it's something I don't believe in, I'm just like, no, like I'm good. You can just ask somebody else. I'm really good.
We'll circle back around when someone offers you $1 million.
Yeah. Like we'll
circle back. I always wonder that too. God, what if Coke just offered me $1 million? God,
no. I know, but I feel like if I sign a deal and I have more money, like right now, I feel like, I don't have a ton of money, but I have more money than I would ever need. Like right now, I don't even have that much money. So I can only imagine. I sign a contract, like, because I've thought about that, like selling my soul, like when that time comes to make some money. And I'm like, if I have enough money that I'm good, and that if anything were to happen to an immediate family member, they'll be good, then I really don't think I would. Now, same thing, we can circle back, but I really don't think I would. But only time will tell.
Now listen, Tyson. I'm gonna give you $5 million to put this candy bar in your mouth, and think you could build schools in Africa. Could help a lot of kids in Africa.
I know,
just
but
just
that's
one
like
candy bar in your mouth.
I know, but the way I think about, I'm such a weirdo. Like I'll think about like I'm killing a lot of people by doing that too.
Oh, damn straight you are. Good
Yeah,
thinking.
just straight up, just like you might as well just snort cocaine, like right there.
You CrossFitted your whole youth?
So I think I was about 8 whenever he put me through my first one. Just kind of like
8 years old, your dad put you through your
testing.
first CrossFit workout.
Yeah, it was like a low box jump and burpees or something like that.
And how often do you think you do CrossFit? You doing it now?
So I haven't been since I've been doing just strictly what they've had me do at the facility since New Year's. But so now I'm back home. This is my 3rd day that I'm not doing anything. And then tomorrow I'll start back. So, I mean, I do it probably 5 times a week, like if it's just a normal week.
No shit. And what's funny is all that stuff, not all the stuff, but your dad sends me stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just did an interview with the ESPN guy. By the way, you killed it. Hey, that dude called you Tyler.
Yeah, no, I know. And I didn't even.
He got 2 Tysons, a Tyler, and then back to Tyson again. I was like, what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
Hey, that's a famous guy.
I think so.
I mean, I recognized his voice.
Yeah.
And he said his name and I knew his name.
The set I was on was way too official for that to have been.
Oh, you weren't at home? You weren't at home doing that?
Oh, no, I was. There's like been a couple. I thought you were talking about the one. Yeah, no, yeah. So that one, I was at home. I don't know who that dude was. But I think he got some platform or something. I don't know. And it was, what was it? ESPN?
It was ESPN radio. It was big.
Yeah,
I recognized his voice and I recognized his name.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not. I've been doing interviews like so much since this whole draft process. But I do remember that one. That one was like a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be.
10 minutes.
Yeah, they said ESPN radio. I'm like, oh man, ESPN. They might have me on here for a minute, and then I got all ready for it, and then it was like done. But it was short and sweet.
It was good. You killed it. You did really, really good. I'm surprised that I'm surprised and not surprised that CrossFit. It would be so easy. Like if I was the media director of CrossFit Inc., it would be so easy to just send someone out and film with you. I mean, I don't know if you'd be down with it, but they could have sent someone out to film with you. They film with you. They show that you did CrossFit. It's enough to show how good you did in high school and how good you did in college. You broke I mean, this is how much it costs. It costs $10,000 to send a guy out and do a really good fucking video on someone. And they could be like, hey, I don't know if you charge them for that or not, but they could be like, this is a guy who used CrossFit and he broke the fucking all-time college football passing record, because there's all this belief among sports that you shouldn't do CrossFit if you're a professional football player or a baseball player because of your shoulders. Yeah.
And that's where I've had to just be careful with not careful, but just understand when I'm programming stuff that.
Yeah. Just cater to your discipline.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. And really, I wouldn't need I'm just like the CrossFit introduced.
Uh-oh. It's your mom calling. It's your dad calling?
No, that was my Mimi.
My grandma.
Yeah. Yeah, it just introduced me to the cardiovascular aspect of things. And I was just like, I really don't even care what I don't care what it makes me look like. I don't care about anything other than it allows me to be available in my sport the whole time, from the start to the very finish. I am ready to absolutely murder this thing. Like there is not one time where I'm constantly or even thinking for a split second, oh, I need to take a break because I need to get my breath. Like, no, pedal to the metal. If somebody else is tired, I'm like, get out. Let's get somebody else that can go at 100%. And my whole thing is just being able to make sure that I can go 100% every single play.
Yeah, those companies. So I would send that stuff to Dave, and I would send that stuff to Bill Henniger and Katie Henniger, the owners of Rogue.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. They do a solid job. And
they need to reach out to you and be like, hey, Tyson, we know you only got 4 months left. Can we do a Tyson Bagent shirt at Rogue? In CrossFit, yeah. You guys are fucking up. I'm telling you. And here's why. there's a community part. I don't even mean from the commercial part. There, it's like you're in, like this is a you grew up, you're homegrown.
Yeah.
You're homegrown. You didn't find CrossFit at 27. Like there's been NFL quarterbacks. There was a quarterback we did a piece on from the Seattle Seahawks. This is 10 years ago. And he basically retired from the NFL, and then he did CrossFit for a year, and it brought him back. He was able to get one more year, and he credited CrossFit with it. But you're fucking homegrown. I just can't believe that the community is not getting more behind you. Well, not necessarily the community, the home office of Dear Bill and Katie. If you need Tyson's phone number, let me know. And can I give them your phone number if they call me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Bill Henniger?
Yep.
Katie, both?
Both of them, everybody.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, it was really cool. It's funny. I got to you know who was there at the Combine? Sorry, I had to plug my phone in.
Oh, they know him. They know him. I bug Bill and Katie about this guy. They know him.
Yeah.
They're just busy people, and
What is,
everyone's trying to get in their pocket. But I'm telling you, this kid Tyson, I don't bug them a lot with a lot of shit. And I'm telling you, like, I think it's a huge, it's a missed opportunity for Rogue, but it's even a bigger missed opportunity for CrossFit and all the affiliates out there to be like, look, you can grow one of these in an affiliate at Tyson Bagent.
Yeah, I met Shane. Is that Tia Claire Toomey's man's name? Shane.
Yeah, Shane Orr. Yeah, good.
Yeah,
dude.
so he was. I obviously watched all the CrossFit like documentaries on Netflix, and a little just I keep updated and up to date with what's going on, and I saw him, and he was with the No Bull guy, like
at the Combine.
At the Combine. So I just got done killing it, right? And I'm walking. I did an interview with NFL Network, and I'm walking back to meet my family, and I like. The Noble guy says something to me, and I look over and I like locked eyes with him. I was like, how in the world do I? And I was like, no shit. This Tia Claire Toomey's man. That's crazy. And then we ended up talking for like 5 minutes. It was pretty sweet.
He's got a crazy deep voice. Did you notice that?
He does. Yeah, he's got his accent's pretty cool. And
it's so deep, my ears can't quite hear it sometimes. Like,
I know, and it's crazy
like,
too, because like
shit.
I feel like I've been more interested in what she's been posting lately because she's pregnant and still
Me too.
like she's yoked out of her mind pregnant. Like I'm like, what in the world? So anytime that pops up, I'm like, well, you know, what's she look like now? She's still, you know.
I'm more interested. I think I'm more interested now that she's pregnant. Because I guess it's kind of like adversity, right? But it's like
oh my
it's something
gosh,
that we
it's
all
like
have to go through.
Adversity in the most ridiculous sense ever. And like you just see she's like, you know, I'm sure she's probably doing what I'm doing with CrossFit, which is being maybe a little bit careful with what she programs, but still she is murdering.
Right.
And like she's still like she's still putting up good times. It's like, yeah, it's crazy. So we talked to him about that for a minute. I told him that was awesome. But it was cool. It was cool being able to see like a person that I actually knew, like I guess in the CrossFit world. So that was pretty sweet.
The draft is in April.
The draft is April 28th.
And will you just be like sitting in front, like will you be sitting in front of a TV set watching it live?
Yeah, and just, you know, it's so much unknown. So I'll just probably just like be kicking it with my family, like in front of some TV with my phone ringer on, just waiting.
And what do you think the chances are that you will get drafted?
I think that I've done everything I was supposed to do, you know, up until this point. So I feel that, you know, a team would be, you know, that you would miss out with not taking a chance on me, but I'm not other teams. So I just know that I put myself pretty much in the best position that I could. And now I'm happy because I didn't leave any stone unturned. It's not like I didn't handle something and it came back to bite me in the ass. And I was like, oh man, I wish I would have taken that more seriously. I took everything as serious as I possibly could have ever taken anything in my whole entire life, to the point where I was like I did everything so right that I was just sick of it by the end of it. Like I was just like, wow.
Like if someone was like, hey, don't use those pillowcases, they make it so you don't sleep as deep. You'd be like, those pillowcases are gone.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like shit like
exactly.
that.
I'm taking any.
Don't wear steel bracelets because they fuck with your meridian line or something. You're like,
Yes.
I'm never
Yeah,
wear a
and it
steel
got to the
bracelet
point.
again.
It got to the point in Florida where I was just like, I was away from my whole family for the first time in my life, and it was all good and smooth sailing. But by the end of it, it was like I would be at the training facility, handle everything, just try to stay there as long as I could, because I knew when I got back to the house, it was just gonna be like I got tired of reading, I got tired of looking at my phone, I got tired of watching TV. Like it was like I was just tired of it. I just wanted to just like go and produce everything that I worked on. So, yeah, I did everything right. I handled my business like a professional. So now it's up to the other end of the stick, to make their decisions and decide if I'm a guy that they want to take a chance on or not. And I'm ready too. I can get the call. If I got the call right now, I'd be ready. So I know in 2 months I'm gonna be ready. So I'm just more so just excited and happy with how I handled the process more than I am worried if I'm gonna get picked up or not.
No plan B. There's no, if I don't get drafted, it's this.
I know it's funny because like that shirt, and then I was listening. It was something that Kobe Bryant said that like resonated with me a handful of years ago. He was like, it was an ex teammate of his talking, and he was talking about something that Kobe was saying one day, and he was like, when people say don't put all your eggs in one basket, it's like, well, what if you just put all your eggs in one basket and then you could make more eggs later? Like you put all your eggs in this basket, and if for whatever reason that doesn't work out, then you can go back, and make more eggs, get good at something else, attack something else in your life. But just not having a plan B. All my eggs are in this basket, and they still are. So I was happy. I'm just happy that the training paid off. I was able to put up good numbers. I threw the ball well. There was, and I was confident doing it. I did the interviews well. So I don't think I could have done anything better. So that's why I'm just more so just relieved in that sense.
Justin Medeiros' mom, the Champ's mom, Shanna Medeiros. Medeiros family will be pulling for a Cowboys pick.
Hey, so is my dad.
Tyson, awesome talking to you, dude. Thanks for sharing your experience with the Combine. That was a really unique listen for me to hear you talk about all that. I'm completely oblivious to all that stuff.
Nice. Yeah, you're the man.
Thanks
man.
for
always love coming on. So I appreciate you. Me and Ezra, and that's another thing. The facility is about 30-minute drive. I have to go there probably twice a day. So a lot of times me and Ezra would just listen and just randomly select the podcast.
Oh, that's awesome. You say that because Ezra's Tyson's 18-year-old brother, and Ezra was in the car with your dad when I was talking to your dad.
Yeah, we were listening to the podcast today. We were on the way before this. We were driving somewhere, and we were listening to the Building Better Men podcast, and you were like, dude, my friend, he's got this 18-year-old brother.
Yeah,
and then
that was crazy.
It went completely over my head, but then Ezra was like, yo, rewind that. I think he's talking about me. And we listened to it. We started crying and laughing.
I told that story like 20 times that day. I was like, a fucking 18-year-old kid thinks I'm funny. There was one. I forget which one it was, but you were just dropping gems, and your delivery sometimes is so hilarious that we just sit there and cry. So it was great. We listened to a lot of podcasts while we were in Florida. That's for sure. Awesome. Well, that makes me happy and proud. Okay, I'll be staying close. Good luck with the event. What's it called? The Pro Day. Yes, at sir. Shepherd University. What's the date on that again? The 28th.
The 28th
of this month.
Yep.
Okay. So CrossFit, you should send film guys out there. You better get in touch with them quickly. And Rogue, you should probably be sending out 1 million. Release the Tyson Bagent Rogue shirt, and then. A month after that is the draft, and I'll be staying close to my phone and bugging you very shortly after that. Hey, will you still be able to come on the show after you get drafted, or do you have to have that approved by the NFL?
Oh no, I'm whenever you need me.
All right, you the man.
Yeah, you the man.
Okay, by the way, the guy who makes the No Plan B shirts, I saw in the comments here, he said that he already sent them out to you, but so I guess the check's in the mail, dude.
Sweet.
All right.
All right. Have a good day, Sevan.
All right. Take care. Tell Ezra I said what's up.
I will.
Okay. Bye. Delivery is on point only sometimes. Send me as a photographer, Sevan. Sevan, can you unblock my account? Unblock your account from where? Dug me off? From where? I don't think you're. Who is that? If you got to talk to the wrenches, I never blocked anyone. You would have to do something crazy for me to block you. God, just prior to the show, Jeremy Eat World sent me a video of Jon Stewart talking, and he's comparing gun laws and the fact that you would believe in the Second Amendment to protect gun laws, but not believe in protecting freedom of speech by letting trannies do readings to kids, to perform in front of kids. And it was the most incredible ass backward logic I had ever heard. It was such a simpleton perspective. And Jon Stewart was getting really angry at this guy. He was raising his voice at this guy. And it made me just like want to go on a walk on the beach with Jon Stewart and explain to him how he's thinking wrong. You can't just be like 3,000 kids died from guns, and it's the leading cause of death of kids dying in the United States, and so we're going to outlaw guns. You can't do that. First of all, you have to realize other things. The precedent it sets. So the leading cause of death for kids under the age of 5 is drowning. So what do? You get rid of all swimming pools? Let's say you did do that. Let's go down that logic of thinking. Let's say you get rid of all swimming pools and you don't let kids under 5 anywhere near water. They're not allowed on beaches and they're not allowed near swimming pools. Well, then upstream a little bit or downstream a little bit, at the leading cause of death for people over 30 all of a sudden becomes drowning in 20 years. And why is that? Because you didn't teach kids how to swim under the guise of protecting them from drowning. It's absolutely batshit crazy thinking. It's along those. So let's go back to the gun thing. So no one's like, hey, Sevan, you're changing the subject. If you ban guns, if you get rid of guns, what happens? Do we end up like the Netherlands or these countries where farmers are being told that they can't farm with gas-powered vehicles anymore? Do we end up like China, where people are boarded up by the tens and hundreds of millions in their homes? Do we end up like Canada, where they're told that if you don't get the vaccine, you're racist? I'm not making this stuff up. These are true connections to countries where their leaders have completely taken advantage of them. Do we end up like Australia, where people would fly into Sydney, have to be quarantined for a month, and then if they wanted to go to another province in Australia, they'd have to quarantine for another month? Do we want to end up like, I'll give you another example. Oh, it's so great in Canada and the UK, all medicine is free. Okay, cool. Well, first of all, that's just not true, but okay, cool. Now you have to wait. If you get, the only problem is, and I forgot to mention this to you, is if you get diagnosed with cancer, you can't begin treatment for a year. Whereas in the United States, since it's not free, you can get treatment in 2 weeks. Like what is the cost? What is the cost of banning guns? He never wants to talk about that. No one ever wants to talk about it. Switzerland. I don't know what is wrong with Switzerland. I know what you're trying to imply there. I could tell you a lot of stuff that's weird there. You have to be more specific. I'm not going to read into it. It's crazy to me. All under the defense of he's saying that you should let people groom your children under the guise, and I know I'm slanting that. Under the guise of freedom of speech. How is it that I can't go to a cigarette site a tobacco site without them asking me if I'm 18. Like if I go and try to buy like nicotine online, or I go to a nicotine site, I got to jump through all of these hoops. But yet I can download porn, or go to Google and type in big dick dudes and get just shitloads of crazy pictures. It's crazy that they think that they're trying to protect kids. I could flip the same script on Jon Stewart. He says he's trying to protect kids by banning guns. Who I bet you if you look up who the number one people are that hurt kids, sexual predators of kids, you would not be surprised of what you'd find. That there is a demographic of people that would not surprise you. It's such bad thinking. It makes me, and then if you really want to just go nuts, start reading the comments. You think it's mentally ill to want to keep guns? It's just a mentality. Oh, a mentality. No, well, not for me. It's not a mentality for me. It's not looking at the consequences of getting rid of them. No one in the United States wants to end up like Canada or the UK or Australia. No one wants to end up like that. If you live in those countries, and if you live in the United States and you don't know what it's like, go to the UK and try to get some and see what it's like living there. All the fucking crazy rules they have. Try being a farmer in the Netherlands. Or how about those kids killed by guns? Are black kids by black men? Yeah. Hey, what? It's that same logic. Why doesn't Jon Stewart just say, okay, we're going to get rid of gun violence. We're going to just move all the black people out of the United States. It's the same thing It's the same thing. It's the same, just stupid thinking. Oh, what they did. It's classic what they did in Germany. I don't know about the gun shit. But what they did, they first said that the Jews were dirty and that they were spreading sickness. That's weird. The thing is, too, I guess the reason why they can't see that taking away the guns would be bad, and because then we would be stuck with a bunch of people who think like Jon Stewart. You want to see, you want to understand. Salo, I appreciate it. I think you're just thinking about it wrong. Go look at that movie. So I'll give you an example. Of how I think you're thinking about it. For years in this country and still today, there's people who think that if you drink Gatorade, you're increasing your electrolytes in your body, because that's how they sold it. Gatorade has electrolytes. But the truth is that when you drink Gatorade, you're diluting your electrolytes. Because you couldn't drink anything that was dense enough in electrolytes to increase your electrolyte count in your body without vomiting. It's not possible. But it was pushed on the people, and to this day, people still believe it, no matter how much you tell them. Yeah. And it's like that movie in Idiocracy. They can't fucking figure out why the plants are dying, because they're giving them Gatorade. And Gatorade has electrolytes. They call it something else. They don't call it electrolytes. And so just in the way that you're asking it, it's such an American thing. I haven't gotten around to understand it. I want to give you a good example, because I used to be like you too. I'd be like, fuck, we don't need guns. But you don't and I used to say the same thing. We don't need religion, but it's because you can't, when you don't see the effect it's having. You're just looking at one perspective of the effect it's having. You don't understand how it's I was myopic on the damage it was doing. I wasn't looking at the benefits. But as we went through the pandemic, you could see 1,000 reasons like, oh shit, I'm glad we have guns. Roxanne is wonderful. I'm in the United Kingdom. Americans should keep hold of their guns. I would rather have the option to own a gun than to never have the option. I mean, just one of the things that's I think known is that one of the reasons why the Japanese didn't attack didn't come ashore in World War II. One of the reasons I heard is because they knew that there were over 800,000 Americans with armed or something like that at the time. Now it's got to be way more. That's another great question. Why does the U.S. government arm citizens of other countries with fully automatic weapons but continue to try to restrict in our own country? Another trippy thing, by the way, Salo, is the guns they're trying to outlaw aren't the guns that are really killing people. And they've come up with these assault rifles, they keep calling them. It's all handguns. The vast majority is just crazy handguns. Yeah, no one wants a nut job to have a gun. I agree. The problem is we have so many fucking nut jobs in power. That poor Canada. What are they going to do there? I was talking to some of my friends who are just fucking crazy socialist libtards, and even they were hating on Trudeau. They got a little mini Hitler over there. Bad dude. I part of me, I'm almost even I'm almost jealous at how passionate Tyson is about his life. It reminded me of when we interviewed Matt Schindeldecker. Do you remember that? And just his life had such purpose. Or even Seth Gruber, the abortion dude, the guy who's against abortion. Like when I meet people like that, I'm like, damn, I thought I had passion. For some Gatorade. Thank you, Mr. Simpson. Homer. Oh, you guys do have street violence in Switzerland? Hey, listen, here's the thing. The United States doesn't only has violence where they allow it to happen. So like no matter anything that you see about how violent the United States is, like you don't have to partake in it at all. Zero. Like I don't have to partake in it at all, and I live in an amazing place. Zero. I don't see it. I don't partake in it. I don't like. You can just not go to those places. This place is so big. Ryan Douglas. Hey, Sevan. Today marks my 1 year of committing to the CrossFit lifestyle. I would like to thank my mentor, best friend, and father, Mike McCaskey. Oh, that's awesome. That's your dad? Or he's like a father in the church, for motivating me and being the best support system. How could he be your father with a different last name? Oh, maybe Mike McCaskey is just his YouTube name, or yours is just your YouTube name. All right. Look at that. You guys are just loving on each other in the comments. Awesome. That's cool. I don't go anywhere where they Father Sevan. Thank you. Oh, True Dad. Okay, True Dad. True Dad or True Dad? Sevan, how do you like the new January 6th video, the police chauffeuring the guy through the Capitol building? I haven't seen that. I know that the Capitol thing is just a complete joke and a hoax anyway, just because there was no fire. I know what real rioters do. They bring fire, like real rioters, like people who are like Ferguson, 760 million in damage. That's more than enough evidence for me. Pope Sevan. I like that. I'm anxious for Tyson. I like reading the comments on YouTube. When I go on Instagram, I posted that Donald Trump talking, and a couple other things that are like, I don't know. Even for me, they're starting to get a little one-sided, and people comment in there and they're rude to me. Or just assholes or just whatever. I if I immediately click their name. And if they follow me, it can stay. But if they don't follow me, I erase it. Or I just talk some horrendous shit to them. Because at that point, I feel like you're just over here on my account trolling. Like, hey, if you're like friends with me and like you think I said something, you're like, hey, Sevan, I don't appreciate you using the word tranny. My sister is transgender, and I find that offensive, and it makes you seem like a transphobic asshole. And you follow me, like I want to have the conversation with you. But if you don't follow me, I just whack you. Bye bye. Chris Rock has a new Netflix show. So I need to look at January 6th stuff and Chris Rock's new show. That's cool. Yeah, right? Tyson has qualities any major company would love to have. God, I hope Coke offers him like $30 million so we can talk about that. Type 1 in the chat if the Sevan Podcast is the most significant podcast in the CrossFit space. Wow, okay. I can do that. There we go. I typed 4. Later, Cobra. Thanks, dude. What is tomorrow? Where's my phone? Tomorrow's Friday, Thursday, Sunday, Monday. Oh, yes. She who shall not be named. I can do that. I can do that. I can definitely get you Mike Celieris' name. You guys want to see who that is, Mike Celieris, who Tyson talked about? I remember when Mike had his mentor I remember when Mike had his mentor hypnotize Travis so he could win the world championships. God, I hate it when I do that. I'm doing 2 things at once and just like the same sentence keeps coming out of my mouth over and over and over. I want to show you a match of his where he wins. He's a really good arm wrestler, both right and left-handed. Let's see. Okay, well, I don't think Mike wins this match, but we can watch it anyway. Here we go. Mike Celieris. For those of you who don't know, that guy Cobra Rhodes, who was in the comments here, he's probably one of the best arm wrestlers who ever lived. Definitely in his weight class, he was the best arm wrestler who ever lived. Oh, you want to see the deadlift? Is that what you said, Mike Sauer, the 295? You know what's funny is I showed Hiller the other day, and he's like, dude, you could do 350. I'm like, how do you know? He's like, you can just tell. It just comes up so easy. I like that. But I have no interest in trying 350.
He did, and that one's Todd Hutchins. Come on. In the grey.
Right there. That's Mike Celieris. Yeah, he's crazy intense. He's crazy intense.
To work and try to expose.
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen here. They're going to, when the ref says go, they're going to slip. They always slip. And then they're going to probably put him in the straps. Boom. And I think Mike slipped because he felt how strong that dude is. So now they strap him up, right?
Close your hands, go.
And now they got the straps on him. That's Todd Hutchinson. Todd Hutchins on the right. I think Todd Hutchins is like a super heavyweight now. I think he's put on like 30 pounds or some shit. Oh shit! That's like, wow.
Fabulous start.
Wow. And you see Hutchins' wrist is back. In arm wrestling, that's like your wrist got broken back. You do not want that to happen right there. And Mike is pronated, supinated, whatever it is. And everyone thinks he's going this way. He's basically turned like this and pulling back towards himself at the same time.
Very unorthodox attack on Todzilla there, but it's
wow.
Oh!
Wow. And you see how crazy intense Mike is, right? Yeah, it looks like Matt Serra, the other guy. Right? Look at him.
With the upset victory.
My God. Oh, and there's his wife and his kids. I think my ex-girlfriend introduced Mike to his
Straight
wife.
out of the blocks. What a way to
I think she's a Jewish girl too.
reverse the earlier win.
Our bodies don't look. Me and Mike's bodies don't look the same, but we both married Jewish girls. Wow, I recognize so many people in the fans here. This lady here in the corner. This is Marcio Barbosa's wife. Marcio came out and visited me one time in Santa Cruz. All right. Anyway, that's Mike Celieres. That's the guy that hypnotized Tyson, or walked him through some like positive mind thinking exercise. Pronated. Thank you. Pronated, supinated. Deadlift. I didn't post it anywhere. It's on my phone. I could show you on my phone, maybe. I'll save it. Oh, let's see. Wants to later install update later. Oh, we got a OS update yesterday. Let me see. This dude wants to talk to me on the phone. Let me see. I'll call him and see if he'll talk to us with you guys listening. Don't you? This show feels so professional when I dial, like that beeping sound. I'll show you the deadlift. I'll post it or something maybe.
Hello?
Hey, we're live on the air.
Oh, sweet.
Can you tell me what you're so excited about with everyone listening, or no?
I mean, I can, but it's slightly. I mean, I don't. It's a little personal.
Okay, fuck
but
it. You don't have AIDS.
Nah.
You don't have AIDS.
Since I'm such a pimp, I'm not. I mean, and so confident I could do it. So I'm at the Combine, and even you know that I pack up all of Tyson and Ezra's gear from Fort Myers, Florida, and I drove it to Indianapolis.
You're such a good dad. By yourself, with
no
one in the car with you, right?
No one in the car but me, just like a beast.
Just
right?
like you and a 40-ounce of Mountain Dew.
No. For me, it's one Mountain Dew in the morning, the same as you have your coffee.
All right.
Don't be so quick to judge like you were John Stewart there a little bit ago. But on the way up there, I start feeling like my back is hurting, my stomach's hurting a little bit. But I'm just thinking it's from driving in the car like that, right?
Because you're a big man and you can't be folded up in a small seat like that.
Exactly. And, it's like laying around when you don't feel good. Sometimes your back hurts from laying in the bed, So I didn't think that much of it, but I'm starting to just slaughter these ibuprofen.
Right.
Right. Because I'm like, man, what is going on? So I get to Indianapolis the first 2 nights, Thursday and Friday. I wake up in the middle of the night, the bed soaking wet.
Yeah.
Right. So now I'm thinking, I didn't have something, but I broke the fever. So maybe I'm all right now. Couple ibuprofen, the fact that I'm there because, my son's in the NFL Combine, I'm mustering up enough energy to make this happen. The final day, I got to drive 7 more hours back home. I get home Sunday. There's a big coming home party for Tyson, but I don't even go. I'm like, man, I'm going on this couch. I'm going to relax and then go to urgent care in the morning.
Wow.
Wake up on Monday morning, go to urgent care, COVID test, flu test, urinalysis, everything negative. I'm like, that's kind of weird. So I go back home, take a nap, laying around. I wake up 3 hours later. Now it's 1 o'clock and I still feel bad. I'm like, well, I'm just going to take my ass to the hospital because I know there they can do the CAT scan, MRI, and do blood work, right? Just to make sure I'm good because it's been too many damn days.
Right.
So I get to the hospital. I have appendicitis, emergency surgery. I'm in the hospital. They ain't going to let me go till Thursday.
You had your appendix taken out?
Yeah. And there was a huge, it was ready to burst. There was some big mass or whatever on it. I don't know. So yesterday the surgery was at 7:00, 6:00, and I am in the worst I was. This morphine kicks in, and I can do stuff like I'm doing now.
God, you're scaring
Is
the
that
shit out of me.
crazy?
Hey, this dude I know, one of the parents of who I see around town, who the kid does the same activities my kid does. He was a big dude, 6'2", 260 pounds. He's like, someone saw him the other day and said he's down to 180. He had appendicitis and he got infected.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah. Yeah, there was an infection, but listen, man, I done lost 20 pounds. I took off at 280. I'm 254, 255 now.
Holy shit.
Already. But just imagine when you were watching me cheer for Tyson in that thing just now, I'm struggling over here.
Yeah, you were hurting, but you had a big smile on your face.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, well, that's because I'm a beast. So I kind of worked out. But yeah, I thought you'd be interested in that. So
yeah, I'm glad
I'm in the hospital still.
Wait, you're still in the hospital?
Yeah, they won't let me leave till Friday because I had they got a tube still in there draining the infection.
How's is your son tripping? Or is your family tripping?
Oh, everybody's tripping, man. Everybody.
Well, shit, good to hear your voice. You don't sound sick at all. You don't sound weak. You sound good. You sound like yourself.
Yeah. Well, that just goes to show you can fake it till you make it.
And when do you get out? When do you go home?
They told me just a few days. So I don't know. That sounds crazy to me. But I just tried to walk. Had to walk a lap around the unit.
Yeah.
Dude, my stomach is so sore.
Like you did too many sit-ups sore?
Yeah, probably like C-section sore from when the ladies have to do that.
Oh, yeah. You had a baby.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, did they take out anything else besides your appendix? Did they fuck with your intestine at all?
I hope not. No, I don't think so.
Oh, they would have told you. That's good. All right, good.
All right. Well, I'll let you get back to it. I just wanted to make sure that you.
Yeah. Thanks for telling me. Thanks for sharing. You got me all freaked out.
Yeah.
But
I listened to the podcast.
But I'm stoked to hear your voice.
Great. Yeah. And listen, I got something else to tell you, but I can't say it on there. It's terrible. Terribly funny.
Okay.
But a little insensitive. So call me when you.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. My show is all about sensitivity. I appreciate it.
Later, bro.
Bye. Oh, I didn't like that at all. Oh, Cobra said when I saw him Saturday, he didn't seem like himself. Yeah. Hey, I kind of want to throw up thinking that my boy Travis is in the hospital. Seriously, it makes me feel like I feel like a shit come on me. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden now I got to poop. Like I did not like that feeling that I just had. Ugh. Well, I'm glad he told me. Now I want to get off with you guys and call him. Yeah, I have Celios's contacts. When I get off here, I'm going to give it to you. The person who is DMing me. Oh, what was I doing? I was looking to see who's coming on tomorrow. Stay focused, Sebi. Oh, today's Tuesday. Today's not Thursday. Oh shit, Rich Froning's coming on tomorrow. That's fucking awesome. Do you know how well I'll sleep tonight? Seriously, I'm not even joking. Knowing that Rich is coming on. Just easy day. So easy. And then Thursday, Dallas Alexander. I have good feelings about that too, actually. Dallas is Dallas is the dude. I think he was Special Forces in Canada who refused to take the injection. Friday, Gary Roberts. We're going to find out about California hormones. His journey, how it's going. And Saturday, live call-in show. I'm curious what Rich is going to do. What his plans are for the games this year. He did good. He did good in the open, right? Dude, I'm on the. All these people are telling me they're like, dude, I beat someone in 3 workouts out of 4 in the open, and I still did worse than them. And like all these. I'm on all these threads where people are just hating on the open this year. I am tripping. I gotta have Hiller on and have him explain to me what the fuck is going on. I'm really tripping on 23.2. Basically, if I need to find out if I'm thinking about this correctly, but if I'm thinking about it correctly, it just doesn't even matter. The open really doesn't matter anymore. Like, if it says you're 35,000th, it doesn't matter. Just, you can tell people you're 8,000th or you're 7th, or it doesn't even matter. I wonder what Greg would think that if it says run and you walk, because those words have definitions, right? It was a shuttle run, but people are walking and getting better scores than people who are running. But someone told me the other day the definition of running is when both feet are off the ground at some point, and walking is when one foot's always on the ground. Just something, it doesn't seem like, I don't know what they're testing for. Who's better at manipulating the system? Who's better at working out, or who's the fittest? It's all, something doesn't seem right to me. Jay Hartle, open workouts were barely CrossFit. First one was the only good one. Yeah, I'm tripping. Sevan Stewart's comments couldn't have been taken out of context more. He was talking about the leading cause of death in children in the U.S. is guns. Yeah, that's what are you talking about? That's what I said. Maybe I didn't say the U.S., but that was what was implied. What do you mean out of context? That's exactly what I meant. The outrage of drag queens who have killed no one. Yeah, no. That is not what it was. You're wrong. He wasn't necessarily, maybe that was one of the elements. I'll have to go back and listen, but he was criticizing the guy for being an absolutist around the Second Amendment, but not an absolutist around freedom of speech. Ha, 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 back at you, 12 daily doses of stuff. Now what? Stewart is fine with everyone having a gun. He's not fine with giving them to people who are violent offenders and known to be mentally ill. Are you? No, no one is. No one's okay with that. But what Stewart isn't doing is he's not looking at both sides of the story. But Daily Dose, why aren't you mentioning the fact that he's okay with mentally ill and I think arguably sexually deranged people? And this is a fact, not an opinion. Reading to our kids. It's funny, he's accusing that guy of being an absolutist when maybe he's the absolutist. He never there's no mention of the cost, was my point. I'm not taking it out of context at all. I don't even care. That's not my fault that I don't know what Stewart's thoughts are on gun control. No one, by the way, that's just ridiculous. No one wants mentally ill people to have guns. Everyone on the NRA is fine with giving guns to the mentally ill. Not true. If they weren't, they would change the laws of purchase and background check. Okay. Then I would say that everyone who uses Google with that logic is okay with kids watching pornography. How's that? I would say that you 12 daily doses of stuff are perfectly okay with young children watching 10 dudes gangbang a lady and stuff every hole and ejaculate all over. 12 doses of daily stuff, with his logic, that's what he's saying. Because it would be so easy to stop that. Because your logic is if they would, they would change the laws of purchase. Are you fucking crazy? You're not thinking right. You're not even thinking right. I used your exact same logic. Look at. You're saying, what if everyone on the NRA, so here we go, if everyone on the internet, we'll just change the words, is fine with giving porn to kids. I changed guns from guns to porn and from mentally ill to kids. If they weren't, they would have changed the laws of watching porn. Dude, there's so many sites you can't go on to, gambling sites, without fucking acknowledging you're 21. Have you ever seen a porn site like that? I mean, you're just not thinking right. You want to win. Don't want to win. Have the conversation with me. Dude, there's no excuse for some of those ideas and concepts to be introduced to kids. Hey, and here's the thing too, 12 daily doses, and we know this. Jon Stewart's yelling at that guy for no fucking reason. And it's because he's fucking defensive and he's bullying him. And Jon Stewart's just looking at the symptoms, because I don't know what the exact stat is, but in like 1952, like 80% of the kids in Texas took a rifle to school every day for their shooting class, and there wasn't one like shooting. Like, we know it's not the guns. We know it's how people are being raised. We know the same thing with the trannies. Isn't it ironic that you want to defend, that Jon Stewart wants to defend mentally ill people not being introduced to our kids in an intimate setting, and yet he doesn't want mentally ill people to have the guns? I mean, the whole thing is fucking... He did not destroy that dude. Wow. Listen to this. Jon Stewart destroys that dude. It's common sense issues. Look at what you. So now you've stopped using logic, and now you're just using name calling and phrases like common sense. Because frankly, I pulled the carpet out from underneath you. I get it. There are websites that you can't get onto unless you upload your driver's license. You can stop someone from getting a gun. Dude, I could go out right now and get a gun. Are you out of your mind? Anyone can get a gun anywhere. Dude, you're so out of touch, brother. All right. Can we all see the video? What video? Tell me at what cost? Tell me what's the cost of getting rid of guns? Tell me. Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. Law-abiding citizens are not killing people who are not mentally. It's well, I appreciate it. And you know what's cool? You can move somewhere where there's not a lot of guns, where gun laws are more strict, and you'll feel safe. Like, I suggest you go to Baltimore or Chicago or Philadelphia or Portland, where gun laws are more strict than other places, and you can see how that plays out for you. All right. Nobody wants to get rid of guns. Just stop selling them to people who are violent. I don't even think felons can buy guns. On a lighter note, anyone interested in campground spot at the games, they go on sale at Ticketmaster on March 9th. Unless you had a spot last year, then you have access today at 10 a.m. No shit. That's cool. That's really cool. Shanna being such a good mom. I love it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And Stewart didn't even come close. Stewart exposed himself for flawed thinking. You're crazy if you think he destroyed him. You're crazy. Go back and listen to it again. I just used your exact same logic and his logic to argue why we should erase black people from the planet and why we should make porn legal for kids to watch. And that if you do think that you're a pedophile. I mean, I just schooled you and him in one fallen swoop. Yeah, there's no end to it. How about stairs? 12,000 people die a year from falling down stairs. I know that it's just idiot talk. You have to at least always look at the other side of the scale. What do we lose if we fucking put these rules around guns? What do we lose? What are we gaining from letting fucking mentally ill and sexually deranged people read to our kids? Jon Stewart should be fucking embarrassed. Doesn't he have kids? I just explained to you why he didn't school that guy. Logically. And all you can keep coming back with is he schooled that guy? Oh, this is a good one. The guys who own slaves wanted us to have guns. There's a reason to make sure everyone has a gun. So with the double laughing. So you know that the guys who want guns today actually didn't own slaves. In 1860, not a single Republican owned a slave. You know that, right? You have that exactly backwards. It's actually the Democrats, the Jon Stewarts, who don't want guns, and they're the ones who own slaves. You know that, right? It's exactly backwards to what you're saying, dude. President Abraham Lincoln was the first fucking Republican president. He freed the slaves, dude. The abolitionist ones, the dudes who wanted guns. You have it exactly backwards. It's the countries with the totalitarian regimes like Australia, Canada, and the UK. That those socialist fucking wingnuts, those are the people. It's those people who don't want you to have guns. Dude, you have it exactly backwards. Just like that, just like Jon Stewart has it exactly backwards. You know that. You have to know that 12 doses of stuff. The guys who own slaves, they don't want us to have guns. You have it backwards. It didn't. It did. When did this become a Republican Democrat issue? Dude, stay on the subject here, buddy. It's just an easy way to categorize people in terms of this. The people who wanted us to have slaves, that group currently does not want us to have guns. You're part of that group. I get it. It's easier to fucking beat people down, lock them in their houses when they don't have guns. I get it. And you're leveraging the kid thing as a reason not to do it. And at the same time, you want to introduce trannies to, you think every school should have a tranny. I get it. It's amazing. No, actually, I'm not losing credibility. I'm sharpening my tools. I'm enjoying. It's fun. I'm enjoying this because you're helping me sharpen my tools. My tools. Helping me sharpen my tools. All right, love you guys. Doses, you're always welcome here, buddy. I'm glad my neighbors own guns. I'm glad that we agree that mentally ill people probably should not have guns. I also don't think that mentally ill people should be in government. What do you think about Pete Buttigieg or Kamala Harris? You think they're mentally ill? What about the assistant secretary to the Department of Health, Rachel Levine? You think it's mentally ill? Or what about Joe Biden? Do you think he's mentally ill? Fetterman. Do you think Fetterman's mentally ill? What about Clarence Thomas? You think he's mentally ill? What about Mike Pence? You think he's mentally ill? Hey, I do. In a perfect world, maybe there aren't any guns. I don't know. I can't even go there. All right. Love you guys. Doses, thank you for the fodder. Thank you for letting me sharpen my tools. Have a good day. Do something nice for someone. Smile. I'm going to go into the room over here. It's that way, but when I'm going to go in the room next door to this room now, and my son's going to be in there. My sons will be in there practicing their striking and kicking. I can see the sun's out. Then I'll be going to the skateboard park. And I'll probably stop at the store, buy, those containers of fruit. I'll probably buy a few containers of fruit. It's like buy 2, get 1 free. And I'll buy a bag of macadamia nuts, and I'll go to the skate park with the boys. We'll eat fruit, eat macadamia nuts. I ordered a sled from Rogue. I ordered a dog sled from Rogue. Thank you. Peace and love. I ordered a dog sled from Rogue. I can't even believe it. I'm going to own a sled. Sevanistas presale ends Thursday. I'm so excited that we sent Tyson Bagent some shirts. That's awesome. Sevan, 100-pound D-ball. Let's go. I ordered a sled, and it's like $300 and then $100 to mail it. I ordered it from Rogue. I ordered their dog sled. So the whole thing ended up being like over $400. I know I need to get an 80-pound dumbbell. I need an 80-pound dumbbell. I really do. I'm ready. How dare you ask me that? How dare you? Yeah, I was at a climbing gym yesterday, and they had a sled in the back. And we used to have sleds at HQ, and I would use them, but they would always be so heavy. I couldn't. Everyone fucking all those guys were horses there. But I pushed a sled at the climbing gym yesterday with no weight on it, and I did sprints with my wife, like 50-foot sprints, and we did 5 rounds, and my ass was broken. I was like, oh, I need one of these. And you know what's crazy? So I went to go order it from Rogue, and then I'm like, I saw the shipping was $110, and that broke my heart. So I didn't order it. I didn't pull the trigger on it. And then like an hour later, I went back and I bought it, and I told my wife, I was like, hey, I bought that sled. And she was like, oh, I'm so glad you told me. And I go, why? And she goes, because I was going to get it for you for your birthday. She's a good dude. Yeah, I will. You know what else too is at this climbing gym, they just left it outside. And that's what I would love to be able to leave that piece of equipment outside. And just push it up and down my street. I got the plastic skids too. I did get those. Was I supposed to? I did get the plastic. Is that a good idea? You need the plastic if you're pushing on pavement. Okay, good. Okay, well, good. I got them. Okay, thank you. I wasn't sure. I was like, am I wasting $30? Hey, this thing's not very loud. My birthday's soon. My birthday's March 16th. In 9 days. Kind of crazy. I was never really a birthday guy. I used to get depressed on my birthday. I'm wondering if I'll get depressed today. Not because I was older, but I just didn't really like the idea of it for some reason. Sevi, I'll send you my 23.3 redo workout I did yesterday. You can live stream yourself doing it later. Pisces, yeah. Pisces. All right. Tomorrow, Rich Froning. Good day. Bye-bye.